H. J. Armstrong, scholar, saint, citizen. My ongoing mission is to use my learning, discernment, and connections to expose the truth to the American public. I will continue my work until such time as I am no longer able to ensure the safety of my family from the forces of evil. Recent scientific studies, all of which have been repressed by the deep state, reveal a strong link between baldness and degeneracy. We will go over these findings and why the deep state has gone to such lengths to suppress these important scientific findings. We now know that the nature of one's thoughts impacts the kinds of brainwaves that are put out. Positive, morally correct thoughts produce brainwaves which are conducive to good health and happiness, whereas degenerate, depraved thoughts create brainwaves which do the opposite. For the most part, although the linkage here is definite and has been proven in 58 of 58 separate studies at different universities in the United States, it is also known that the negative impact of negative thoughts is typically not dramatic. For instance, someone who has morally impure thoughts is only slightly more likely by about 2.6% to develop cancer or heart disease. However, there is an incredibly high correspondence between degeneracy and baldness at around 61.7%. Negative brainwaves, which do not convey love, loosen bonds and cause follicles to flee the scalp to get as far away from such thoughts as they can. As a disclaimer, I want to make it clear that not all bald men are perverts. There are some good bald people. However, the correspondence is strong enough that it would be foolish to leave a bald man alone with a group of children. Much of the science is obscure to the point that I cannot divulge the details without revealing my sources and my own connections to the hidden archives of the American ruling class. What I will do instead is show how this is borne out in other places, and how most people already understand this on an intuitive level. In politics, two of the most evil men are bald or balding. I am of course referring to Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden. Bernie started balding early due to his socialist ideology and support of the Soviet Union. His preference for Russians over US Americans and his hatred of liberty caused his follicles to start abandoning him while he was still quite young. Given his generally vigorous health, I have to imagine that his 2020 heart attack was caused in part by his negative brainwave activity. Bernie is not entirely evil, and this may account both for his ability to make friends and the handful of wispy white hairs which cling to that ancient scalp of his to this very day. Joe Biden has been bordering on bald for decades, and his interest in sniffing young women's hair has been well documented. As for Joe Biden, he is clearly the beneficiary of hair plugs. Look at Joe Biden circa 2012 versus Joe Biden from 2020 to the present. You will notice that he magically grew more hair. If he did not understand that people intuitively understand that baldness and perversity are linked, why would he bother to go through such a painful hair transplant? The primary agent of atheism in the United States today, Matt Dillahunty, is bald and has been for years. At one point in his life, he was a Christian with hair. Dillahunty's follicles have been cleared out for years because of the evil that he actively promotes day in and day out. Unlike even Bernie and Biden, he does not have a single wisp on his dome. Dillahunty's perversion runs beyond his rejection of God's existence, as he also rejects God's laws. Dillahunty is in an open marriage and has sexual congress with both men and women. Perhaps the very best example of a degenerate bald man whose entire life was dedicated to nothing more than spreading evil is Michael Foucault, the founder of Post-Modernism and critical race theory, as well as the first high-profile person to die from AIDS. Foucault, a Frenchman, rejected the idea that there was objective truth. He also blamed white men for all the world's problems. Foucault argued that Europeans caused all the problems of Africa and Asia. A flamboyant and flaming homosexual, Foucault attended every bathhouse from San Francisco to Constantinople, and no doubt spread death to young people taken in by his lies. Foucault had nary a hair on his head, and that was true for him from a young age. Foucault is actually more harmful than Karl Marx. and this is reflected in his total and complete baldness. The favorite fictional character of liberal Democrats, the primary promoters of perversion, is Captain Jean-Pierre Picard, portrayed by Sir Patrick Stewart. Stewart is as bald as a buzzard, and lots of liberals celebrate Star Trek's politics and its promotion of a bald man in a lead role. Why would anyone celebrate the mainstreaming of a particular look? Why does it matter to anyone? It can only make sense if they see a link between their politics and being bald, so a link between baldness and perversion. Democrats do not believe in punishing pedophilia, the death penalty, or other methods of fighting crime. Today the streets are overrun with fentanyl and gangs, and the Democrats would have us do nothing. They are more concerned with promoting bald pates, and Star Trek is a major part of their efforts. Once again, this video is not intended to demean bald men, but is simply observing the objective fact that there is a strong correspondence between being bald and perversion. Anyone who denies this is simply denying objective reality and needs to grow up and be serious. There is a reason why the deep state promotes Patrick Stewart as Jean-Pierre Picard. There is a reason why the deep state has silenced the researchers from 58 different universities who found a link between baldness and perversion. Think for yourselves, embrace reality, spread the truth.